Yay! Okay, so I am back. This is Brenda Trott with Pajama Party Profits, and I am super excited today. You don't even looking at me yet. I'm super excited today because this is one of the living, breathing, proofy reasons why the internet is so awesome because it can bring people from around the world together. You've been watching me for any amount of time. You know that I'm here in Houston, sticky, hot, and humid Houston. And my guest is also from a sticky, hot, and humid place where we are currently enjoying winter in Houston, which I know isn't saying much, but we did have snow this year. She is in Brisbane, Australia, where she is enjoying the beginnings of summer. And when I say enjoying, I'm kind of saying that tongue in cheek because she is also very much expecting. And ladies, if you have any idea, you know that we don't usually enjoy that in the summer months. So we're wishing her lots of well. Anyway, let's go ahead and welcome Sam. Hi.
Hey, thank you for having me.
I'm really glad to have you. And one of the things I know, this is we can talk for a minute about how we get people onto our lists and how we introduce get to know other people. I honestly don't know where I entered into your system. Do you have any idea how I met you? I'm pretty sure it's from your
No,
market.
yeah, no, actually, no idea. Other than the fact that you've been around for a while now, so you're just kind of part of the scenery.
Right.
But
This is true. And I think we do most of our communicating in your awesome Facebook group, which I had to ask if it was even, it's a smaller, intimate group. And I know
yeah,
I have poured my heart on it there before going, blah, you guys aren't even in America. So I can say this. And I don't think I've gone so far as to talk about politics, but I know that we had a nice little conversation about Black Friday because some of our friends were kind of upset that you guys were getting Black Friday sales. We're like, we don't even celebrate Thanksgiving, so what is this deal? And why is it Black Friday? You said you want to know. I don't know if it was you in particular, but somebody wants to know why is it Black Friday? It sounds so damning, downing.
yeah.
You had to say black because it put businesses in the black. So it's always fun to expand your world, and I'm so glad that you're sharing your business and your family. I know you're still, I would consider you a newlywed. You have a child on the way. I made you stand up. I won't make you do that for camera if you don't want to. But she is ready to pop. And she is trying to deal with all of the community where you're at right now. But I know when I get tired of the winter here. I am cold. I'm cold every night here, and it's Houston. And I can't even imagine. I spent a lot of time in Montana. If you're familiar with Montana, we had sub-zero temperatures there. And that's I hightailed it out of there after 10 years of being there
Yeah.
because one day I went outside, it was 0 degrees, and I thought somebody turned the heat on. And now here I am acclimated again in this awesome warm weather in Houston. But thank you. Because of you
Yes.
Google, we can be together.
And the funny thing is, your 0 degrees isn't even my 0 degrees. Like I get sad here in Brisbane, we never drop to like 0 centigrade, which is like 32 Fahrenheit. We don't see that. That doesn't exist. Like that's too cold. So if you're talking 0 degrees, it's a whole nother world of cold that I don't even experience.
And I hope you don't have to learn it. I really do. You're more tropical, so where you're at, it's probably very similar to Houston. It's just that you're doing it the opposite months that I am, which is really kind of
Exactly. Yes.
cool.
Yeah.
But we also have a lot more in common. We're both in the internet marketing world, and I invited you on because I wanted to show just another shining example of someone who has created a business for themselves while growing their family, which is like many people are trying to do here. They don't want to have to leave. I'm not saying it's easy. Would you say it's easy?
No, no, no. To be honest, whenever I speak to anyone, I've never said it's easy. Partially because if it was easy, every single person in the world would do it. Like no one would ever go to work. And we know that's not true, but it's definitely worthwhile. And I'm a big believer in, I'm not going to call it balance because I honestly think balance is pretty bullshit, but I'm a big believer in doing lots of little bits. And so for me, it was like this slow transition. It wasn't just a one day I wasn't working for anyone. It started with some bits on the side, and then it started with mixing that with going to some face-to-face workshops locally, and then it started with, and now I really don't do anything much. in the face-to-face world. Most of what I do is online, but it definitely wasn't overnight either.
Okay, so let's talk about that just a little bit more. You said that you're doing, I think we have similar, I mean, I see a lot of parallel here because I'll go outside and teach at networking groups and things like that about the online world. Is that kind of where you went, or did you have another topic that you talked about?
Sort of. So I started in the world of retail and sales and management and like in big box retail here in Australia. And then I accidentally, like completely accidentally fell into the world of training. I left my retail job and someone just gave me a training job. And so that's what I was doing. I was a full-time training manager. And so course creation and that sort of stuff was my job anyway. Like I had a background in managing people and now I taught people. And so those were my skill sets. And then what I realized is that after a while, although I'd left retail and was now just doing training, is I actually kind of missed the retail thing. And so what I started doing was taking those skills that I'd learned through many, many years of retail, the skills in how to build customer service and the skills in sales and all those sorts of skills, and just talking to other business owners about them. And I, started a bit of a Facebook page and started some conversations. And that's kind of how it all snowballed, is it just started from me talking about the stuff I used to do, and because I kind of missed it. Like that had been my life for years. And in the world of training, it's very different. It's not a sales focus, which is great. It's very content focused, but I missed the sell. And so for me, it started talking about the sales. And then as I progressed through that, it was kind of like, well, hang on, business owners need to know how to create good content, and they don't. Like, they're either, and what I ended up doing is finding that they either feel like they're selling or they're creating good content. But the truth is that you can meld the two, and it's just difficult. It's not as easy as just like creating something. So that's how it all kind of rolled together. It started talking about the things that I'd always done in my life and that I always knew how to do, and it just progressed from there.
Okay, I'm gonna summarize. Your mic is kind of toying with us. Sometimes you're sounding a little bit garbled. So maybe if we can hold that mic out a little bit, because it seemed to fix itself and then it didn't. So I'm going to summarize what you said. Is you kind of fell into, which a lot of people do, kind of fall into the field that they're in, and you were training in these corporate positions, and then at what point did you miss the sell while you're training, or how did you end up starting talking about the selling? Like, I think that's the missing piece for me. Maybe someone else heard it.
To be honest, I don't know when the moment was. I just know that I guess I got bored. So I get easily bored. I get the feeling you're kind of the same. When you do one thing too much, it drives you insane. So that's kind of it. Like I transitioned jobs and I started this new thing, but I'd got kind of bored. And so in my spare time, because we all have hours of spare time amongst kids and whatever else, in my spare time, I was like, well, I'm bored, so I might just start a Facebook page. And that's literally how it started. And then I might just start a blog. And so that's just how it kind of came up. I'm not sure when that was. I just know I got to this point where I'm like, I'm bored.
Okay. I love it. So if you want to work from home and work with your kids, then Sam says just get bored and things will follow. Actually, I think that you have a really good point to what you're saying, and that's that you went and followed your interests. Would you agree with that?
Okay. Yes, very much so. And I was talking to someone about that the other day because we were talking about starting an online business, and her interest is knitting and crochet. And she'd always done it as, a hobby, and sitting on the TV in the couch in the evening, she'd be knitting away. And then she was like, oh, yeah, but this isn't an online business. And I was like, no, it is. Like, it really is. That there are people all over the world passionate about that, who want to see what you're making and who wants to make that pattern you just made and who want to follow your projects. And it's going to start simply because she's interested in that as a craft. And I would say that to anyone. Like, online business is hard, and I'm not saying you have to love it, although it helps. But if you're genuinely interested in the thing you're talking about, it's definitely going to make it a whole heap easier.
I love what you're saying there about that's such a great example of someone who crochets and that you understand there's a passion. And I think one of the things that comes up a lot, I hear this a lot from people, is that, oh, that business has been done. There's already so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so who've done that business. But I'm teaching a class coming up on writing books, and that's another thing. People have already written a book about this topic. People have written. So I took a photograph of someone. I was at their house, and they newly changed their diet, and they had in their kitchen 12 books lined up, and they were all about the same thing. But they didn't just buy one book, they bought 12 at the same time. So like you're saying, the crocheter might think, oh, well, there's already people who are designing patterns, there's already people who are creating these types of things. Why would they listen to me? And what would you say to them?
Exactly what you just said, which is that people are always looking for answers, and I think naturally as humans we don't trust the first thing we read anyway, right? I mean, we just don't anymore. You don't trust the first blog you come across necessarily. You go and look for number 2 and number 3. And if you're looking for a recipe for something, you don't necessarily just make the first one you make. You go and you scroll through, one of those big recipe sites, and you look at 5 or 6 different recipes, and then you decide which one you like. And it's the same with content on the internet. Like, no one is watching just one Netflix show. Everyone has like 6 on the go. And my kids have got 20,
right?
Or YouTube channel. Yeah, my kids are watching 20 different Minecraft YouTube channels all at the same time. Mm-hmm. They're all about fucking Minecraft. None of them are any different, but they're watching 20 of them. It's the same. Like, you're right. Someone has already invented the car, and someone has already invented the pen. But it doesn't mean that there aren't new cars being made every day, new pens being made every day. Like, it's the way the world works. We're always looking for a slightly different take on something, or that thing that's slightly new, or just even an opinion that's slightly different. Because as humans, we seem to crave that newness and that difference. And that's what she'll provide. She'll provide her take on something, which is going to be slightly different to someone else's.
Okay, we're going to dig into that just a little bit deeper about because we've got a great example of someone that you help in your business, because that's kind of where you came down to. You're like, okay, and I think that I love that you said that you're bored, because when you help others, all of a sudden you have all these new niches and things to look at. And I think you're right. We're very similar in that way. I like to write in pen names because I take all these different topics, and the 30 books that I've written, I think I've got just a handful in my own name, because people get confused. What is Brenda Trott about? Brenda Trott is about variety, right? But you were able to take the fact that you have all of these different, you can get bored easily, and you can help different people, and that kind of gives you that variety. Would you agree?
Yeah,
awesome.
Definitely.
Okay, so we're going to dive into that just a little bit more. But first, I warned you, you come on Pajama Party Profits, you have to play a game. Otherwise, it's not a party, right? So first, I don't know if you can like hold your mic out, or maybe we can try it with your computer mic, because it's just getting, it's like the only clue at all that you're halfway around the world is that your volume, your voice is just a little bit off. But we are going to set the timer. And by the way, my guests usually win, and I promise I have not practiced. But today, because you are, actually, we were taking bets in her group as to when her baby was going to be born. They were not, just on the honor kind of bet. No money was exchanged internationally or anything. But I was laughing. I said, oh, it's going to happen this afternoon, the afternoon of our meeting. She's like, no. So am I close? Are we getting any kind of?
No,
okay.
I don't think so. I'll let you know later.
She does look, oh, you do sound a lot better. She does look like she's going to pop any second, though. All right. So we are going to, I was going to do it one of 2 ways. I'm going to see, I'm going to make you go first, too, because I'm mean that way.
Oh, no.
I'm going to set the timer for 20 seconds. That's probably easier than 30. And what you're going to do you ever watch Lucille Ball?
No. Who's Lucille Ball?
Oh my goodness, who's Lucille Ball? Wow. I Love Lucy show predates me, but we get a lot of.
Okay, I know.
Okay, phew. Okay. International stuff. Okay. I got this from her when I was like, knee high to a grasshopper. I was very small, but it was a tongue twister that she had to do. And she won some big on television thing, I think, by doing this. But basically, you're going to say rubber baby buggy bumpers. See, I can't even do it once. Rubber baby buggy bumpers as many times as you can in 20 seconds. Are you game?
Oh, dear God. What are you making me do?
I told you it's not that hard. You want to make it 15 seconds?
No, we're good. I can do this.
All right, ready? Go.
Yeah. Rubber baby buggy bumper. 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 Whose idea was this? Rubber baby buggy bumper. Rubber baby buggy bumper. Rubber baby buggy bumper. Rubber baby buggy bumper. Rubber
Yay!
baby.
All right, you got it. I think you did 6 times. We'll have to, if anybody wants to argue it, just write in and be mean to me. I don't care. All right. All right. All right. It's your turn to count because I can't count and do it at the same time. Okay. I'm trying to get more than 6. We'll see. I hardly ever win, but I did once, I think. All right. Ready? Rubber baby buggy bumpers, rubber baby buggy bumpers, rubber baby buggy bumpers, rubber baby buggy bumpers, rubber baby buggy bumpers. Maybe I did practice. Rubber baby buggy bumpers, 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 rubber baby buggy bumpers. Ah, what did I get?
You cheated. No, you got 11.
How did I cheat? How many did I get?
11.
Oh, really? Some of them were just coming off really fast. Okay. No, I really didn't. I didn't cheat for this, but I remembered it well enough from when I was younger, so maybe it wasn't. But all right. Thank you for being such a great sport. You win the prize anyway because you got the baby coming pretty soon. And you have 2 built-in babysitters too. So you said you have some older children, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about what it is that you do now. You help these people start their own courses. That's kind of...
Yeah. So realistically what I do, it started as teaching people how to build courses. And then it became teaching people how to build a business that sells courses. Because what I found was that a lot of people, especially if you got caught up in the hype of like the internet marketers and you see it all, is that you believe that you can just build a course, a millionaire overnight, and lie on the beach with a cocktail in your hand and throw money off the front of your Ferrari. And it's not quite like that. So yeah, I teach them how to build a course, but especially like inside the academy and inside with my clients, we talk about so much more than that. So we talk about how to sell it and having an affiliate program and how to do email marketing and how to write a sales funnel and all that stuff that goes with not just suddenly making a course and expecting to be an overnight millionaire, but how to actually run an online business that just happens to sell courses.
Okay. All right. So it's the business end of the business. You're so right. There are so many people out there who try this I am thing because of the great picture. But that being said, there are plenty of people in my circle that I do know that run their business on a 4-hour work week.
But
they took 10 years to get there. I mean, it's not like they did that instantly. Yeah. That's it.
And whenever I talk to people, I'm like, it's not that it can't be done. Like there are plenty of people making really good money on the internet. And like I've been completely self-employed for years now. I haven't worked for anyone else for sort of 4 or 5 years. It can be done, but I don't want people to think that they just record some videos and write a workbook and then become an instant overnight millionaire. Like there's a lot more strategy to it than that. And you have to treat it as a business. And even those people who are working 4 hours a week or 4 hours a day or however many hours they're working, they're treating it like a business. They've got business goals, they've got strategy, they track their numbers, they know their stuff. And that's how it works. It's not just throw something on the internet and become an instant success.
Okay. And I love what you said that I pull away from the word work, hard work, because there's so many people who say, you work hard. A certain someone said it the other night too. If you work hard, and then you'll get great results. But there's plenty of people who work hard on the wrong things, and they get
Yes.
not very good results. But what you're saying is, I've heard a couple messages from you today, and I'm so excited because we have an offer for people who want to dig deeper into what you're saying. But you have said it's not easy. We've agreed from that. It's not exactly easy, but following your passions is one of the best ways to find a way to develop something. And to me, that's the thing that we're told all the time, right? Follow your passion in the middle. No, it's not just follow your passion. You have to have that business mindset, and you have to have strategies in place, and you have to understand how businesses run. And here's one more thing: you are not going to get it right away. Sam's been doing this for years. I've been doing this for years. I have ups and I have very low downs. And everyone that I've talked to, my associates who are, I know, making $1 million plus, like their goals are to make 2 million or 500 million this year, they have had downs. It's not always an upstream. We wish it was. But when you're doing stuff that you love and you're following that passion, it makes it easier. Okay. So
Yeah.
Sam has something to help people get started with this whole course creation thing, and it's kind of one of my favorite tools is creating the course, because I'm a lot, my background is a lot of things, but I have a lot of years of experience in teaching, and I've just found that I'm going from teaching someone who has to be forced to go to school, to teaching the adult business owner who wants to learn something new. And so that's where I considered it a teaching course, and I could probably use a little more tips, because something I'm getting better at is sales and weaving sales into things. So maybe Sam can help me there. Tell us about your course creation kit, Sam.
So the course creation kit is a series of templates that just helps people structure information. So what I find is that the people come to me, they know lots of stuff, like everyone does, whether even if you haven't found your passion yet, or you're not sure what it is, you have a head full of information. But a lot of people then struggle getting it out in a form that makes sense. So they find that they, open their blank Word template, or they open a document, and they just kind of get this like brain freeze. And they just don't know how to get it out onto paper. So the course creation guide is a series of templates that kind of goes, all right, write this thing in this box. Now, what are you going to say next? What are you going to do here? Because sometimes we just need that prompt to say, put this thing in this gap. And that just helps them begin to draw out that process and structure that information in a way that makes sense, so that then they can start to think about what they're going to do with it and how they're going to record it. But yeah, it's really there to help people draw out the stuff that they know.
I love it. There's a couple of reasons why I love it. First, I always end the show, which we're getting really close on time here. I always end the show and asking people, what's the one thing you would give, one tip or advice you would give someone just starting out, just kind of trying to figure out what they're going to do online. And you're not just giving them a tip, you're giving them a whole package. You're going, here, brainstorm this out. And that's something that I've done with people, and I love it. I would get referrals from counselors, believe it or not, and they would say, hey, this person told me to call you because they're a counselor, but they want you to help me sort out what it is I want to do for the rest of my life. So I didn't have that toolkit. The other thing I love about this is that this is a great example of how you can start a relationship with somebody, your avatar, those are lots of buzzwords that we use here on the show, but the person who you want to work with. This is a great example. Sam wants to work with people who are just getting started online. So what is she doing? She's offering something to start a relationship with you so that you can get to know her and all of the services that she owes, by giving you something of value that you can use right away. So I'm going to suggest, if you're watching this on YouTube, go to pajamapartyprofits.com. It's in the notes. you'll see the notes on the show notes on the page, and you've got a link to grab this. This is absolutely free. She's asking for your email so she can relate with you, so she can start a relationship with you, so she can get to know you and what kind of business you want, and to see if she can help you through her business and her services. But it's a great example of just one of the processes that I know Sam is pretty good at teaching you that you need to do.
And on that note, I guess the one of the last things we should mention is that I always find that in the world of internet marketing, it's not just the person that signed up for your list, it's their friends and the people they talk to. So for me, I find that my clients often, like, I've been referred people because someone came and signed up for my free thing, and then they were talking to their friend about it, and now their friend is my customer. And I think that's the thing you need to remember with that, you know, your free thing, or however you're attracting your tribe, is that you want to make sure it's valuable and it does something useful. And it's not just because you want to convert that person, because sometimes you won't, and often you won't. My list is, you know, it's a really tight-knit community, and a lot of them aren't necessarily my clients, but they're people now who I've known for a long time, and they refer clients to me because of the stuff they see. And so that's the thing you got to remember, is it's not just the person who's downloading your thing, but it's everyone they talk to about your thing that's really important too.
And I have to put one more plug in for Sam, because I know I went through her videos. I remember watching her videos from the strangest locations. I don't remember, like, one was in the gym and one was somewhere else, but I'm on a lot of people's list. I've, you know, been in this for years, and I've seen lots of different strategies. Sam has some of the most unique things I've ever seen. Like,
That's true.
I can't, and when I say unique, I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, I'm like, whoa, where did you come up with that? And I think, like, you've even developed your own software in some cases. Is that right?
Yeah, it tends to be just because, as much as we talk about internet marketing and the strategies behind it, I also am a big believer in doing what feels right. And sometimes I look at some of the strategies people are using and it doesn't feel right. Like, for me, I just try to remember that there's a real human being at the other end of the email, or at the other end of that laptop screen. There's another real human being there. And so I would much rather do some things that are a bit silly or a bit funny or a bit just me. Like, that's who I am as a person. And over the years, they'll get to know me. And it might not convert the fastest, and it might not build the biggest list, but I've got this really cool group of international friends now who I feel really connected to. And that's how I've built my business. And I feel much better about that, I guess.
Yeah, I can see that 100%. But and I love the idea that you're telling people to, or not telling people, that people are seeing what you have and they're sharing with others. What is, I mean, I know you're just a wealth of information, and for someone who's getting started and maybe watching these videos, or we already know they're watching 20 videos, right, about how to get started in internet marketing. What is, like, the one biggest piece of advice that you would give someone just getting started, or maybe even doesn't even know what their passion is yet?
I think the one biggest thing is just post something today. Like, not tomorrow, not the next day. Don't go and research a million things, because the more you research it and worry about what your one true passion is, the harder it will be. Like, I'm sure for you as well, that how I treat my business and what I do in my business has changed a lot over the past 4 or 5 years. Like, this is not the thing I started doing.
And it'll probably change again.
Oh, I have no doubt. It will definitely change again. Like, it continually morphs. So for anyone starting out, don't try and wait until you've got exactly the right thing to say, or you've found your exact one thing you want to do for the rest of your life, because it will change. So just do something today, like now. Promise yourself you'll press pause on this video, or you'll stop and you'll go and you'll start a Facebook page, or you'll go and you'll type a Facebook post. Because if you don't do it now, you're going to get stuck.
Yes, I love that. If you have an idea, plan to fail. Get out there and get your failures started. You can't fail if you don't do anything. And most successes don't happen without failures first. So get out there and fail. I love it. Thank you so much for being with us, Sam. I hope maybe you'll send me some baby pictures when you come back, and we'll go back and we'll post them in the show notes too, and see just what it was that was waiting to pop out. Thank you so much.
Thank you